Good afternoon and welcome to the Federal Executive Forum celebrating 18 years of profiling excellence in government IT mission programs. I'm Luke McCormack. During today's show, we will discuss best practices with machine learning and artificial intelligence strategies and programs in the federal government. With me on today's show are Gardy Rosias, Deputy CIO, Architecture, Engineering, Technology, and Innovation at Department of Energy. Jerry Ma, Director of Emerging Technologies, U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. Sanjay Kuyani, Chief Technology Officer, Department of Labor. David Larimore, Chief Technology Officer, Department of Homeland Security. Mark Elzey, Regional Vice President, Federal at Data IQ. Jeffrey Phelan, Public Sector Chief Technologist, H2O.ai, and Tom Skurlock, Regional Vice President, Public Sector at Talend. We are talking about AI and ML, a very important subject. We've gotten over the hype curve. We're practicing responsible AI, and we're into implementation. Gardy, tell us the state of the state there at Department of Energy. A lot of great activity going on in the AI space these days.
Certainly, and good afternoon, everyone. So I sort of hate to bring the pandemic into this conversation, but I think we can't ever get away from it. As a result of the pandemic, I think one of the things that we saw was the sort of the public perception of and trust around virtual means of communications and so on. And as a result of that, what we've seen so far is really this acceleration of the demand for intelligent or AI capabilities that can support the business in whatever ways possible. So what we've been doing at DOE is really within our innovation shop is really trying to figure out what is viable. And within that huge bucket of what is viable, we've been trying to figure out, how do we sort of order these? How do we prioritize them in terms of things that we would just like to do as technologists because they just make us happy, and the things that will really add value to the mission and everything else. So within that, what we've been doing at DOE, we've had a couple of what I think is some great successes. We just focusing on actual business cases, focusing on our mission and so on. We deployed we built this in-house conversational agent for one of our business stakeholders within DOE that has been really, really successful in terms of helping them to do things that they haven't been able to do in many, many years in terms of engaging with their customers, with their stakeholders externally. So that's a really, really good success story here that we were really proud of. But in addition to that, there are different other things that we're looking at. Where we've done some things around computer vision, where we're using some of the capabilities that we have at our fingertips to help some of our business stakeholders to, sort of move labor intensive activities away from staff and sort of move them toward the computers, toward AI capabilities. We're also are looking at how we can apply sort of edge machine learning to help to kind of help to protect some of the power grid. As you know, there's been many instances in the news where the power grid have been under attack by just different people. So we're looking at different ways how we can apply technologies to particularly AI and machine learning to help to sort of advance the mission. So in my shop sort of play a very interesting role. We also run EA, which means that we have to take a strategic approach as far as how we look at this as well. Yeah. So we have to make sure that we create an environment for long-term innovation. So we're looking at tools and we're looking at a platform strategy. There are different components of AI. There's, conversational AI is definitely sort of what I think that falls in the quick win sort of bucket. We see a lot with Chat GPT, generative AI. So we're looking at all of these and figuring out how do we set ourselves up for success, not just now, but for the future. Right? We're doing market research in terms of, which platforms or are great for that kind of stuff. And ultimately, we want to make sure that 2 or 3 years down the line, when we look back, we sort of did approach the problem with a strategic mindset, and also with the sort of mission focus, and the result is good even 3 years from now. So that's kind of
Very
where we are.
comprehensive, no
Yeah.
question, very comprehensive look that Department of Energy is taking on the use and pursuit of AI, which we certainly really appreciate it. Very impressive. Jerry, how about at U.S. Patent and Trademark? I would imagine that you're actually evaluating patents for AI, and of course you're using AI perhaps in lots of different ways in the use cases. Give us a state of the state as to where you all are with that machine learning in regards to the journey.
Thank you, Luke, and great to be here. I think you're exactly on point that, as we style ourselves the America's Innovation Agency, we're looking at both fostering innovation in the broader domestic global economy through the provision of strong IP rights, as well as ultimately bringing those innovations back home to help the USPTO better serve our stakeholders day in and day out. I want to echo something that Gardy alluded to in his description of DOE's activities, which is a dual focus on viability and customer needs. So in the AI space, we hear, all these flashy buzzwords, all these developments in the news, and that's great. We love to see new things as technologists. We love to see the field advance forward.
Mm-hmm.
But something that is flashy in and of itself is not valued at the PTO unless it is viable and it addresses an acute customer need, right? So these two questions are basically can we do it? And if we can, so what, right? So both these answers have to be compelling for us to take on an AI project from start to finish, from prototyping experimentation to ultimate delivery to the customer. Now, the interesting thing with AI and ML is that answering the first question, can we do it, is extremely non-trivial. It's a problem that I like to call the proof of existence. Developing a proof of existence for any AI ML solution isn't just, drawing a couple of architecture diagrams on a whiteboard. It's a lot of painstaking research, experimentation, training 10 models, see 9 of them fail, so on and so forth. Very high variance, very random. So before we even invest anything in answering that question number one, we need to answer the customer needs question, right? Before we invest millions of dollars in trying to figure out whether something works, we need to have an answer that is a resounding yes as to which customers will use it and how important, how valuable will it be for those customers' use case. At the USPTO, although we have a very ambitious AI agenda, we have started with use cases in which we think the answer to at least question 2 is a resounding yes. The so what, who cares? And then now we get to invest, quite considerable sums and effort in that, in addressing that question 1, can we do it? These 2 areas are specifically retrieval and classification. So taking documents, taking content, figuring out what exactly is this document? Is it a patent about rocking chairs? Is it a patent about AI? Is it a patent about new pharmaceutical therapeutics? So on and so forth. That is crucial toward getting our patents to the experts that they need to go to in order to ensure maximally effective adjudication. We don't want electrical engineering experts adjudicating rocking chair patents, or AI or mechanical experts adjudicating the latest and greatest in AI. So that's thing number 1. Thing number 2 is retrieval. Once a patent is at someone's desk, how can we give the examiner as much information as we humanly can to help them make an informed decision that involves finding the space of everything else that might be relevant? Of course, that space is way too big. So then we need to rank and filter to make sure the examiner is able to see the most important related documents to whatever patents they're looking at. And I think, although we'll see many more use cases, we'll probably see, some sort of impacts from generative AI. I imagine most agencies that are using AI, including the USPTO, I think starting not necessarily small because these are ambitious projects, but starting where you have a resounding answer to the viability and customer need question is the way to approach AI if you're looking to deliver real value in the government.
Interesting use cases there, and we really do appreciate everything that the Patent Office is doing on behalf of everyone in the U.S. Sanjay, how about at the Department of Labor? Give us a state of the state as to where you all are on this journey.
Great, thanks, Luke. So core activity when I joined DOL in 21 as a chief technology officer was to establish an emerging technology office that was focused on driving innovation. And since that time, I've spent a lot of time strengthening our strategy, our structure, our core business processes, and the talent that can help to deliver that work. So one thing that's really important to just maybe remind folks is that Department of Labor has a really important mission, and the IT services we deliver in our CIO is a shared service entity. So the majority of our sub-agencies that deliver our mission value rely on our IT shop to enable those missions. And so in the artificial intelligence, emerging technologies, these become really vital to, one, getting them to understand the value of these products, and then two, how we can then help them to advance the work that they're doing around work enforcement, ensuring good working conditions, that people are retiring with dignity, that people are getting educated, trained, and back in the job market. So that's the driver for a lot of what we do. How do we enable those mission-enabled agencies to do their jobs better? In response to that, in 21, we stood up two key programs. One was a robotic process automation program where we established an internal foundational platform for how we drive that and deliver services. The other was around artificial intelligence, machine learning, and how could we offer this as a shared service based on mission value and pilots. I think my other colleagues talked about mission. First and foremost, what is the mission need? Where does this create value? And then is it something that's feasible? Is the juice worth the squeeze on? How we drive that stuff through. I think foundational to getting these programs out is getting in good staff, getting in good contract support that can help to enable it. They can help evangelize it, help develop both the needs of the programs, but also where there are limitations. One area that we developed early on, I think, to help drive these programs was also an innovation incubator where we could look at what is the business process, what is the need, and we never start with, okay, you come with a problem, we can use AI or ML. It always starts with what is the problem, what is the need, what are the customers trying to achieve, and then as we take it through this discovery process, what's the current state, what does the future state look like? This gives us a chance to assess what is the right technology. Is it AI? Is it RPA? Is it something completely different? But understanding that at the outset and understanding, are we asking the right questions? Do we have the right problem? Are we moving in the right direction is really crucial to ensuring that we're not coming in thinking, okay, well, we've got the answer already. Linked in with the innovation incubator is also strengthening how we develop KPIs and what are the performance indicators that we're going after to see, again, is what are we trying to measure? Is the juice worth the squeeze on this? If we're going forward with this, is it having the intended impact? And so those are areas of maturation that we're continuing to go through to ensure a strong, healthy program. Two areas a few other areas I want to just hit real quickly are on our journey towards delivering this as a service. One is strengthening communications within the agency to ensure we're addressing the priorities and the needs of leadership. And so, one area that we've looked at is what is leadership saying about AI and the future of AI in especially at DOL and its workforce. And I hear our leadership talk a lot about, we want to empower workers. We want to enable them to do their jobs better. We want to augment how they do their work and shift from low value to high value work. So that's been a very core message. And as we look at the amount of work coming through DOL, the need to shift focus away from grabbing documentation and pulling data together and instead empowering some of our different program workers to make decisions faster, to focus on more customer service, empathy, things that they really want to get to. That's become a central message and a core area of focus as we kind of match the strategy to the situation around where heads are at, what the readiness is for AI and how we're going to implement it.
Mhm.
The other core areas around employing responsible AI and ensuring that how we design, execute, and validate AI is being done in an ethical and equitable manner. Partnerships, I think, are really key here. We had a presidential innovation fellow join us early on to help create the basis for how we're leveraging responsible AI and in the work that we're doing. We just started a partnership with through an IPA with Stanford University's Institute for Human-Centered AI. There's School of Law to further develop our responsible AI strategy and ensure that as we do this, we're not including bias, we're not having unintended consequences, and we can have much more transparency as we deliver these products.
Love the idea of you all leveraging various types of talent there, and good catch on reaching out to that customer base. This is a technology that you have to kind of get into their imagination a little bit about what you can do and what's possible. All right, Dave, let's roll over to you. A lot of different moving parts going on at DHS. I'm sure a tremendous amount of use cases here. Give us a state of the state as to what DHS is doing in regards to pursuing AI, the use of AI and ML.
Well, I think it would be first important to state that we've been doing artificial intelligence machine learning for years. The technology has been around since well before I was in my position in headquarters. I think the predominant difference is we are now really looking at what is the safe and effective use of AI.
Mhm.
We are looking at understanding where AI is being used. We may not have understood where AI is being used. It's about understanding the context of which the AI is used, right? Because there's a phenomenal difference between AI being used to help with cybersecurity, to help with things like delivering IT, and things like AI being used for determining benefits at USCIS. So we have spent the last year cataloging over 100 and so various use cases, the technologies assigned to those use cases. We have seen the full spectrum from AI ML solutions being used for computer vision, facial recognition, pattern recognition, being used for sentiment analysis and topic modeling, being used for document classification, and being in some cases being used for kind of the more traditional academic machine learning around disaster or event modeling.
So many different use cases there, and interesting that you all have definitely been on a journey, and I love the catch of the categorizing it and cataloging it, and also making sure that it's being used responsibly. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. You're listening to the Federal Executive Forum on the Federal News Network.